Hey, hello, howdy, how you doing? A couple months ago, I made a video covering 10 must-have QOL mods in Project Zomboid. Well, you all seem to really like that one, so I'm gonna keep beating this dead horse until the mod authors stop putting out bangers. Full disclosure, these are 10 more of my personal favorite mods. These may differ from your personal favorites, and that's okay. There's no need to spew out half-baked diarrhea all over the comments about how these ones suck and you prefer Arby's over Wendy's. That being said, if you've got any mod authors that you don't think get enough recognition, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to add them to one of these videos in the future. In no particular order, let's start with one I've recently discovered. Have you ever killed like 50 zombies and then spent hours checking each corpse for things like watches, leather jackets, knives, really anything of value? Well, Proximity Inventory by MX streamlines that entire process. Essentially, it takes every item within lootable range and stores it on one tab for you. This way, you can select all the digital watches in one click rather than going through each zombie corpse to check. This also works with containers as well. In this clip, we're at my base on one of my PZ servers. Normally, you have to scroll or click on each container to check for items. Well, with Proximity Inventory, you can see the contents of every crate in your lootable radius and grab the items you need in an efficient manner. This mod is customizable and can be turned on or off by right-clicking the globe in the top right of your inventory tab. When selecting it, you can also enable Force Select, which locks your loot table to Proximity Inventory, so you'll only be able to look at items from that tab. This really just prevents you from accidentally scrolling to other corpses or lootable containers. It's very useful when you're actually looting items from this tab, since by default, when you loot an item, it'll pull up that container as you loot it. This is shown in the warehouse clip, where whenever I grab an item, it changes from the proximity inventory to the crate that the item is in. With Force Select active, I'll stay on the globe container. Overall, a fantastic mod if you hate the tediousness that comes with looting. Moving on to another personal favorite, I Don't Need a Lighter by Fingbell is a must-have for any run where loot is insanely rare, or if you just hate to always have a lighter or matches on you. With this mod, you're able to light a cigar or cigarette by using a grill, stove, campfire, or even a microwave. This has become a staple in both of my servers and almost every playthrough I run, since I always grab the smoker trait, and while it may not be the perfect fix, it's a feature that I think should be in the base game. Like, come on, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people use a stove burner to light a cigarette in real life. It just makes sense. Now, the main argument to this is that it removes the need for lighters and matches, and if you're one of those people thinking that this mod makes smoking too easy, well, there's another version you can check out. I Might Need a Lighter by the same author covers that for you. With this mod, it takes the same premise of being able to light cigarettes off of stoves and all that, but with the added risk of potentially burning yourself. These options are all configurable in sandbox settings, and you can even choose to allow which items you'd like to be accessible, such as turning off the ability to light a cigarette by using a microwave. Next up, I wanted to include Killcount by Chernobyl. Another staple in not just my servers and playthroughs, but PZ as a whole. The mod itself has almost 2,000 reviews with a 5-star rating and is beloved by everyone. Killcount creates a more in-depth tracker for each zombie killed in game. This includes things like zombies killed by fire and by car. By default, kills are organized by combat skill, but can be broken down by individual weapon if you click on that skill. This is nice if you're looking for more information regarding your kills or if you're tracking stats for a challenge. It is worth noting that the kills recorded with fire and cars do not count towards something like Become Desensitized, which requires a minimum kill to be reached with weapons specifically. One last tidbit with this mod. If you go into sandbox settings, you're able to select Export Kills, which logs each kill into a text file. This can then be exported out in your Zomboid folder under Lua killcount.txt. For a full file path, check out the mods page in the Steam Workshop. To make this mod even cooler, when using it on a multiplayer session, such as a dedicated server, you can actually see the total kill count for each individual player. Moving on to another mod that's made its way into my core lineup, we have Exhaustion Boosts Fitness by Revolver Bobcat. This one is a nice QOL mod that makes grinding fitness way more viable. If you don't know, it's near impossible to level fitness past level 7. This mod scales fitness XP as you become exhausted by adding a modifier at different ranges. It's one of those only fixes for fitness that isn't completely overpowered by itself. That being said, it is possible to stack this with, say, the working treadmill mod and pound out max fitness in a few days if that's a route you wanted to explore. This mod features a normal version and a reduced version for those that want to provide a boost without it scaling to, say, a 25 times modifier at max exertion. For those wondering, we do run this on both of our PZ servers, and we ran the reduced version for the Iron Man series you might have seen previously. In general, Soul Filcher's mods are incredible. I don't think there's a single one that you shouldn't check. If you don't believe me, every mod they've released has 5 stars on the Steam Workshop. Drinking Time in particular is one that I like because I'm lazy. This essentially allows you to fill up items that otherwise be used as junk. Those empty tin cans that you've been hoarding in the corner, well, now you can fill those up with drinkable water. This applies to empty soda cans, beer cans, red Solo cups, paint buckets, and even empty gas cans. Now, I can 100% see how it can be perceived as a little busted since you can hold more water in a gas can than any other item, but I think it also provides some usage to items that would otherwise be left on the floor to collect dust. The Manage Containers mod by Jeff may very well be the best mod on this list. I'm not sure how many Minecraft vets we have here, but if you've ever built out an auto sorter for your storage area, take that concept and distill it down to a simple mod. With this mod, you can right-click a container, such as a crate, and assign an item category to it. There's also an option to select multiple, which you can do by holding Shift and left-clicking additional categories. From there, make sure you're in range of the containers, then select the loot in your inventory, right-click, and click the Put in Assigned Containers tab. Now you can just sit back and relax while your character goes to work automatically sorting out your loot for you. This can be as simple as sorting an entire category into a container, or it can be as specific as allowing individual items to be placed per container. To do this, simply right-click to configure the container and then select Toggle Advanced View. This will open the tab to include every lootable item in the game. From here, you can use the same method of clicking or shift-clicking until you have all of your desired items selected. Overall, this is a fantastic mod for loot goblins like myself, and it really helps to keep your base organized. Now, if you're looking to add this mod to your current playthrough but want to organize your current storage room that's in complete disarray, throw on Proximity Inventory and grab loot from that menu. Right-click and automatically sort through your entire storage with the click of a button. This next one is pretty simple, but it's very useful for new players who are trying to get used to the crafting system in Zomboid. Created by Bynum, Craft Helper adds a simple UI tab that allows you to see every recipe that an individual item is used for. Recipes in green mean that you're currently holding all of the required materials to craft that item, whereas recipes in red indicate that you don't have that item unlocked yet. The recipes listed in white text mean that you have the recipe unlocked, but are missing supplies needed to craft that specific item. For example, this is what it looks like when I open the Craft Helper tab for plank. As you can see, I'm currently holding a chipped stone and a plank, so I'm able to successfully craft a drill plank. When I move to make a sturdy stick, however, I'm not able to craft the item since I don't currently have a saw or garden saw on me. When I hover over the option to make a wooden box trap, you can see it's in red because I haven't read the Hunter Magazine Volume 2, which unlocks that recipe for me. One important piece to note here is that you can't directly craft items from the Craft Helper. At the time of recording, this currently only shows you which items you're able to craft with the selected resource. That being said, it's still incredibly helpful when you're learning the game, or whenever you add additional recipes via mods, especially when you consider the fact that the crafting menu in the game currently will not show you recipes you haven't unlocked yet, such as the box trap that I haven't read the magazine for. Now, I don't want to brag, but being slightly autistic, I can't stand not having my bags organized properly, by my standards at least. See, I have a very specific way that my bag setup goes. General inventory first, keys second, then backpack, followed by fanny pack, and then anything else last. So you can imagine my frustration when I pick up a backpack out of order and now my inventory looks like this. Well, thanks to Notlock, I don't have to drop all of my bags and then pick them up one at a time in the optimal order. Instead, I can use the Reorder Containers mod and move them back to how they should be. It's incredibly simple to do. You just need to click and hold each icon and drag it around on the container menu. This way, you can set your order however you most enjoy it without having to drop each bag and figure out which one to pick up first every time you want to change something around. Overall, it's a fantastic QOL mod that should probably be in the base game. One of my favorite aspects about this mod is the fact that your containers will remember the order you set. So if I drop my keys, I'm able to just pick them up and they'll go back to that number 2 slot without me having to do anything about it. Firearms 41 by Heizo may be the most balanced firearms mod currently in Project Zomboid. The mod itself adds a variety of new guns, such as an MP5, an AK-47, an M60, and a ton of pistols and shotguns to the game. By itself, the ARs and SMGs feel very weak, but there is a patch mod that's embedded within the current mod that you can enable to buff the damage of ARs and SMGs, making them viable options. For reference, the footage you're seeing in regards to assault rifles and SMGs includes that rebalance. This works great if you're like me and just want some more variety in your weapon choices without going completely overboard. All in all, this adds 23 new guns to the game, though some of them are basically the same thing, such as the Colt Python and the Colt Python Hunter. It doesn't include as much variety as, say, Britta's, but it also doesn't feel as barren as the vanilla weapons. The loot pool is based off of the vanilla guns as well, so it's very unlikely that you're going to find something like an M60 in a police station. You'll still have to go to the high loot POIs like the military checkpoints and surplus stores in order to find those stronger weapons. That being said, I have found AK-47s in the police stations, so it's not impossible to find good gear in common areas, just more difficult than something like Britta's. Last but not least, I have the 4-color Bic Pen created by OllyPro. Truthfully, this one is on here more for the memes than anything, but it's a fan favorite in the community and another mod that, if I were ever to remove it from our servers, might incite large-scale riots that send shockwaves through the PZ community. On its own, it's literally just a pen that you use in middle school that allows you to write notes in black, red, blue, or green. Though that's not the real reason people like this mod. The real reason people go absolutely nanners for this is due to the legendary Bic Excalibur. Crafted in the fiery depths of Mount Ink and handcrafted using the strength of 10,000 Bic pens. This absolute unit has the largest range of any melee weapon I've ever held. Match that with the fact that it takes one swing to send any zombie to the Shadow Realm, and you're in for a good time. Most players I know will stack this weapon of the gods with more traits, grabbing the Prowess Blunt skill for an additional 20% damage, and then proceeding to go to war on Knox County, spreading the word of the Great Bic Excalibur. Seriously, this weapon is completely broken, but if you're looking to have a fun time and don't care too much about realism in this game, then this one is perfect for you. It's such a status symbol that players dedicate entire sections of their bases just to show off the weapon. Truly a remarkable addition to a fantastic game. And with that, we've come to the end of another list. As I mentioned in the beginning, these are 10 more of my favorite mods that I think are worth checking out, but let me know what you think. Are there any hidden gems I missed that you think should be added? And also, are there any mod authors that you think deserves more limelight? I love to keep showcasing mods like this, and these videos are a way that I can do that. A very special thank you to my YouTube members and Patreon supporters. They're generally the reason I even find most of these mods at this point, so videos like this quite literally would not be possible without them. I appreciate you all. And as always, thanks for stopping by.